number 9. So on this one, you're given a pair of information on B. And so you're going to say sine 160 over 8, because all that's B information. And then we know the side for C is 3. And so this will be sine C. So when we cross multiply, we get 8 sine C equal 3 sine 160. Or if you'd rather skip a step or two, you get 3 sine 160 over 8. Or you could just directly go to inverse sine of that. 3 sine 160 all over 8. And that doesn't just mean the angle is divided by 8. It was the whole thing. And one of the key things is you got to make sure you're in degree mode. So remember to be able to switch between them. You just go to here, click, now I'm in radian, click, now I'm in degrees. So what we're doing is inverse sine of 3 sine 160, all of that divided by 8. When I said all of that, I meant the 3 part. I did not mean the sine negative 1. So let me fix that. Looks like I need to do extra parentheses. And then over 8. And then the last parentheses is on the outside. And so then I get 7.3689. And we round to 2 decimal places. So this is 7.37. So that's what C is. Now, what we do next is we know one of the angles was 160, and so we go 160 plus 7.37, and so we have 167.37. That really is smaller than 180, so the triangle exists. It's smaller than 180, so a triangle exists. Because on one of these, it does not. And then we do 180 minus 167.37. And that gives you your 12.63. And so that is the capital A part. Now, if we have capital A, then we need to get little a. And so we take our pair of information, which was the sine 160 over 8, and we do sine 12.63 over little a. And we've got to cross multiply, and you do 8 times sine 12.63 over sine 160. So 8 sine 12.63 over sine 160. That gives me 5.114. And so we just put 5.11. Now, the next part is check if the second triangle exists. Usually what you do is you check whatever angle you found first, which in this case was 7, and we add it to this one, the original one. Okay, I just forgot a step. So to check to see if the second triangle exists, do 180 minus whatever that was, which was 7.37. So 180 minus 7.37 gives you 172.63. And clearly 160 plus 172.63, whatever it is greater than 180. So the second triangle does not exist. And so you only have one answer, and so that's why it says single triangle. So especially on these type problems, you might want to work them on paper, because you don't know at the moment whether there should be one triangle or two. And you don't want to put like these answers in here and then end up not working, and then you've got to move them. So anyway, that's what you do for that one. Now on this one, we do the A information together. So you have sine 50 over 1 equals sine B over 6. So we have to do inverse sine. Well, I'll write this first step. Inverse sine of 6 sine 50 all over 1, which the 1 part's not going to matter. But if we do inverse sine of 6 sine 50, we get undefined. And since it's undefined, that means the triangle doesn't exist. Now let's go in a little deeper onto why that would be. So why is, what if you just did 6 sine 50, 6 sine 50 equal 4.596, and you have to do sine -1 of that, and basically it must be from -1.57 to 1.57, because before we said it has to be in this quadrant, and so it doesn't even exist. So that's why it says no triangle is produced. Now on this next one, what we want to do is the same type thing with the B information. You were given C, and so we have our sine 40 over 5 equals sine C over 7. So we have to figure out what C is. So we do inverse sine of this product, 7 sine 40 all over 5. When we do that, we get 64.145, which we round to 64.15. At this point, we don't know if that's C1 or just C, but it is capital letter. So the next step is continue with that same triangle, continue on the same triangle. And so what we do is we add the original 40, we get 104.15, and then we do 180 minus 104.15, which is 75.85, and that's capital A. Again, at this point, you don't know whether it's A1 or if it's the only A. So then the next part is we do this same information, because you always want to go what's given, because these other things are rounded. So you want to do your sine 40 over 5 equals sine 75.85 over A, and then cross multiply. So you do 5 sine 75.85, all of that over over sine 40. And when we do that, we get 7.54. Okay, I'm going to pause right there. Let y'all see through this. Basically, what you're doing is cross multiplying, getting your angle for C, adding it to the original, subtract from 180, and then you get your angle, which is your third angle, and then you got to do your law of sines. Okay, so that's how you get that for the first triangle. Now the next part is you got to check to see if the second triangle exists. Now the first angle found is C, and so the very first step is, what was the supplement of C? So we do 180 minus 64.15, which is 115.85. Then add that to the 40, which was the original, and we get a number smaller than 180, so that means the triangle does exist. And that means that capital C2 is this 115.85. Now, to get that other angle, we've got to do 180 minus 155.85, and we get 24.15. And so that'd be your capital A2. And then you do your cross multiplying with that. You do your 5 times sine 24.15 and divide by sine 40. And that gives you 3.182, which we round to 3.18. So that's how we do that one. So on this next one, we have C as your pair of information. And so you have sine 110 over 2 equal sine A over 5. So we're going to cross multiply and basically say sine A is 5 sine 110 over 2. And so then A is inverse sine of 5 sine 110 over 2. So inverse sine 5 sine 110 divided by 2. So that says undefined. Now, why would that be? Because if we do our 5 sine 110, all of that divided by 2, that gives us 2.35, which is greater than, let's see, pi halves 1.57. So it doesn't exist. It's not in our interval. So that means there's no possible solutions. Okay, that's actually our last one. Wow. Okay, hope that helps. Have a good day.